Welcome into this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. We have some new details to get to on DK Metcalf and his trade request of some potential trade ideas that are out there from The Athletic and what exactly the Seattle Seahawks are looking for in a deal for their Pro Bowl wide receiver. We'll tell you everything you need to know coming up in just a bit. Tyler Jones here. Thanks for stopping by. If you want the Hawks to trade DK Metcalf, I need you to like today's video. If not, if you would like to see him stay around, comment and tell me why. Let's find out how the fan base feels one way or the other. Let us know what you think, and we'll get going with today's show. So, without further ado, let's tell you about these potential trade packages that Seattle could be getting in a deal for DK. But first, let's kind of set up the scene and begin with this from front of the show, Dianna Russini of The Athletic, who gave some context to what John Schneider and company are looking for in terms of a deal for DK. Russini said the following: the Seahawks are seeking a first and third round pick for wide receiver DK Metcalf per sources. Metcalf is also eyeing a new contract worth around $30 million per year. Multiple teams have inquired. So clearly, John Schneider and company, they are swinging for the fences with this one, making it known that they are looking for a first and a third on top of whatever DK's next team would be, having to pay him $30+ million. I would also like to let it be known that I am also seeking to date Sydney Sweeney as well. So based on that logic, yeah, okay, you may be seeking a first and a third round pick, but let's face it, it's not realistic. It is not reality here in this situation. You ain't getting a first and a third round pick. And honestly, I don't blame Seattle here for saying we are going to put the price tag way up there. Because the longer these things go, the price tags tend to decrease dramatically. I think back to last year with Justin Fields at this time, there was people talking about, hey, could the Bears get a first-round pick for him? And by the end of it, they had to settle for a sixth-round pick. So you put your asking price extremely high, and then you're hoping that it works out from there. Here are the things that are more likely to happen than the Seahawks getting a first and a third round pick for DK Metcalf. I think that we have a better chance of going to Mars and occupying Mars with Elon Musk than we do seeing the Hawks get a first and a third round pick. I also believe that there is a better chance that the full Diddy list gets revealed rather than Seattle landing a first and a third round pick, and we would know some of those names. And I have a pretty decent idea of who is on that list. I won't say who, but I think we're more likely to figure that out than to see a first and a third end up in Seattle. How about the Mariners actually winning a playoff series? Now, this one might hit a little too close to home for some people, but I think there's a greater chance of that happening. I would also say that the U.S. buying Greenland as an additional territory. They have all sorts of minerals out there. Maybe could be a nice travel destination for vacations, potentially. I think there's a better chance of that happening. And I'll throw one more out there for you. A reunion tour for NSYNC, I would also say, is more likely. And I've heard that there is some conflict between Justin Timberlake and Joey Fatone that could make things difficult, but with that said, I just don't see a first and third happening. But I at least applaud the effort. With that said, where could DK end up? The first team that The Athletic mentions is the Buffalo Bills. And the idea that has been thrown out there is that the Seahawks give up DK Metcalf and a third round and a sixth round pick in 2026 in exchange for a 2026 third round pick in Curtis Samuel. So you get an immediate player now, but you have to wait till next year on the third round pick with Curtis Samuel. And then DK gets a contract offer of about 3 years and $85.5 million. For me, if I'm Seattle here, you're going to give me a third. I do have to wait on it. and I give up a 6, but I get a pretty decent player in Curtis Samuel as well, I'm going to go ahead and take this offer if it's presented to me. This is one I can live with and be okay with because the way we're looking at this is let's just assume that you can't get an extension done, that you are moving on from DK, that has already passed by. And now we're looking at a situation where can I get a replacement for him and where can I get draft capital? That is one you can live with and be okay with. I could take that deal. What team is most likely to end up trading for DK Metcalf? If you had to give me one team that comes to mind, who would it be and why? Weigh in and give me a team in the comment section below. If the Seahawks were to make a move, whether it's trading DK Metcalf or if it's a contract extension, whatever it may be, we are going to cover it right here on Seahawks Today. We'll go live whenever something goes down one way or the other right here on the channel. You got to lock us in for the latest happenings of your favorite team all offseason long. We're going to bring you free agency coverage here on the channel on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Subscribe now for free. Stay up to date. Stay alert. We got you covered each and every day on the channel, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. The second team mentioned is the Green Bay Packers. And if you recall, there was the report last week that the Packers were showing some interest. And here is what's being thrown out there. The Seahawks receive a 2025 fourth-round pick. That's this year, 123 overall. And they also get Romeo Doubs, who's an emerging young receiver there, while the Packers receive DK Metcalf. Now, with that said, though, there is the suggestion from The Athletic that there is no extension guaranteed for DK Metcalf at this point. So he may not like it, but ultimately it's not his choice. This is Seattle's choice because there's no trade clause there. I'll say this, though. I'm going to decline the trade if this is what's offered to me because although Romeo Doubs has emerged and he's starting to come along, you're still stuck in the same contract situation that you were in with DK, where he only has one more year remaining. And then I still got to pay Romeo Doubs on that front. So I'm going to go no. I would need Green Bay to sweeten the pot a little bit before making that deal. The Kansas City Chiefs, there were reports last week that they were showing interest in DK Metcalf before he officially hit the market. And the offer from Kansas City from The Athletic would be a 2025 third-round pick at 95 overall for DK. That's it? Third-round pick? That's all we're doing here? That's not enough in return. I am going to decline that. The contract offer's there, though, for DK. 3 years, $85 million. That's not his best offer. To me, that's an easy no. I mean, that's it. You can't throw in anybody else to this. You can't give me any more picks, just a third-round pick. I think DK's worth more than just a third-round pick, especially some of these other teams we've talked about already have better offers. So that's a no from me. How about reuniting with Pete Carroll in Las Vegas? Pairing up DK and Pete in Vegas, what could that potentially look like? Well, in this trade offer, Seattle gets a second-round pick at 37 overall. So that's actually close to the first round. That's a very high, valuable second-round pick. And then you get a third-round pick next year. And then DK gets a big chunk of change. 3 years, $93.75 million. So we help out our old friend Pete. We get some pretty good draft capital. DK gets paid. I think everybody's happy. That's a trade offer I would accept if I'm Seattle to get that second and third round pick. And we're helping out Pete in the process. And DK is getting paid probably more money than anyone else is willing to pay him out there. So let me ask you guys. Let's say, for all intents and purposes, DK ends up in Vegas and pairs up with our old friend Pete Carroll. Would you root for DK in Las Vegas? Shout out to great Randy Jackson. It's a no from me, dog. I'm typing in for no. What about you guys? Type Y for yes, in for no. Would you root for DK in Vegas? Let me know what you think. Seahawks hats are on sale now for up to 50% off while supplies last. Chatsports.com/Seahawks hats. Get the baseball cap style, got the flat bill version, all sorts of different hats to choose from. It's all in one place, chatsports.com/Seahawks hats, and we also have plenty of other Seahawks merchandise for you to go see for yourself. Go check it out today, chatsports.com/Seahawks hats. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Up next, we turn our attention to the Los Angeles Chargers, a much-talked-about team in these DK Metcalf trade rumors, as Jordan Schultz has mentioned them. Apparently, they had some off-season interest last year in DK Metcalf, but I got to tell you, I'm unimpressed with this offer that's being suggested by The Athletic. Just a fourth-round pick? Are you kidding me? Blasphemy! Blasphemy! No way. No way. No how. And then on top of that, not even offering DK an extension either. Just, here's your fourth-round pick. You'll like it. You'll take it. This is a hell no from me. Why would we do this? Seahawks wouldn't be happy with that. DK wouldn't be happy with that. I mean, that's the Chargers trying to steal candy from a baby there. Like, no thank you. Adios. See ya. Let's go to New England now. The Patriots, who are in position to make quite a bit of moves with all the cap space they have, pretty good draft capital. What could they potentially offer? Here is what The Athletic is suggesting. A second-round pick, number 38 overall, so a very high second-round pick. I like that. A third-round pick in 2026, okay, and you give up DK. And the contract offer, DK's not going to like this, is about 3 years, $80 million, but that's not of my concern of what he gets at his next team. I would accept that offer if I'm Seattle. That's good capital comparing to all these other trades of high draft picks that you're getting out of this. Moving on from DK, to me, that could work. One more team and one more trade idea, and I'm all but first. Do you trust John Schneider in this situation when it comes to DK Metcalf's future? You got two options here, type B for believe, D for don't. Weigh in, let us know. Last on our list is the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have some history with the Seattle Seahawks. We all remember what happened in Super Bowl 40. Big Ben was clearly short of the goal line, but that's a whole other story. Here is the idea that's been thrown out there. The Hawks get a third-round pick this year, 83 overall, and also Roman Wilson, who was picked up last year from the University of Michigan. Very talented receiver. I think he's got a bright future in this league. And the Steelers get DK Metcalf. Contract offer DK is about 3 years, $90 million, so that's competitive to everybody else out there. That's a trade I like. I like the idea of bringing in Roman Wilson, pair him up with Jackson Smith and Jigba. You get two receivers on rookie contracts, and I get a third-round pick. That's one of the best offers that we talked about today. If you enjoyed today's show, like the video. Plenty more coverage ahead on the ongoing DK Metcalf saga right here on Seahawks Today.